Hi, this is David McCann for WebTNG. In this video, I'm looking at a new link manager plugin called BetterLinks. I've used the Simple URLs plugin for years for managing outbound links, but lately I've lost confidence in it. First, it was listed as being in maintenance mode only, and then it was sold to a company that is upselling an Amazon affiliate features plugin, which I have no interest in. So I've been on the lookout for a good replacement. BetterLinks is a new link manager plugin, comes in a free and a pro version, and has a lot of features for something new. My interest was sparked when I saw that BetterLinks is from the WP developer team. I own some of their other plugins and have found their products to be solid and support to be good. In this walkthrough, I'll look at the free and pro versions and discuss some of the plugin's strengths and weaknesses. Before we get into the walkthrough, let's answer the question, what is a links manager and what are some of the advantages of using one? Link managers use link redirection, and a redirected link usually has 4 elements. The title of the link, which is to help you know what the link is for. The target URL, which is where you want the visitor to end up after clicking a link. The shortened link, which is like an alias, and it's usually a link to your website that when clicked redirects the visitor to the target URL, and then the type of redirect. This can be hard-coded or a user option, and it's used to tell the visitor's web browser what to do with a redirected link, how to handle it. More on this later in the walkthrough. Some of the benefits of a link manager include the ability to manage outbound links in a central place, link shortening, which makes it easier to share a link, for example, in a video or a podcast. Automatically adding link attributes like no index, sponsored, no follow, no refer, and so on. Analytics to keep track of how often your links are clicked. And if you're working with affiliate links, in addition to the other benefits, they also help to keep your affiliate IDs from being indexed by search engines. So, BetterLinks comes in 2 versions. First, let's look at the free version, which is available in the WordPress plugin directory. We can see that it's regularly updated. It has more than 1,000 active installs and a perfect 5-star rating. If we go to take a look at the support forum, we can see that user questions or issues have been getting responses. So I've got here a test site, and you can see I have the free version of BetterLinks enabled, and the pro version is currently not activated. Okay, when you install BetterLinks free, you get a new admin item here. It has 3 pages, Manage Links, Analytics, and Settings. So let's look at settings first. So at the very top of many of the BetterLinks admin pages, there's the option to switch from regular mode to dark mode. So for people who like that, you can switch. Although note that this is only for the BetterLinks admin pages, not for all admin pages. And at the bottom of many of the pages, there are links to documentation, support, Facebook groups, and to go leave a review rating on WordPress.org. Okay, so there are several tabs. First one is General, and the first option here is how you want to share links. You can do fast mode, which is where the links in a links.json file, which is kept in memory, so that's very fast. Or when somebody clicks on a link, it fetches the target URL from the database. So you have a choice for that. There's a little kind of glitch here that once you enable fast mode, there's no way to switch to the database mode. And what I noticed in looking is if you look in your WP content uploads directory, there's a BetterLinks folder. And here you see, here's the links.json file. And this is a file that keeps track of your analytics. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, if you copy this file off somewhere else and delete it from this directory, then it switches to the database mode and you get an option to enable fast mode. And when you then enable the fast mode, it recreates that links.json file. So if for some reason you want to use the database instead, that's how you would switch to it. Although it seems like the in-memory fast mode might be better. Then there's an option here to fetch your analytics stats data And basically what it says here is that's automatically updated every hour. But if you click the button, then it gets it out of that clicks.json file so that your analytics, which is on the screen over here, are up to date if you need something, this minute instead of the last hour. Then there's the type of redirect. BetterLinks gives you 3 options. 301 is for permanent redirects, and so you'd use this if you knew for sure that your redirects weren't going to change. And these are cached in your browser, and probably Google caches them also. Then 302 is an older type of temporary redirect. And this is kind of technical, but what I was reading about this is that what this does is whether it's a post, like a form that posts, or a get operation, either way, a 302 will perform a get operation to move you to the redirect URL. And a 307 is the newer type of temporary URL, and this preserves whatever type of protocol the original link had. So this is what I'm using. Then you have link options that are added to your BetterLinks. These are the defaults. There's a no-follow option, which is kind of the traditional thing you do if you don't want Google to index your links, then you would use no-follow. Then there's a new option for sponsored, which you can use for advertising links or sponsored links. Parameter forwarding is if your link that you're sharing, if you put parameters on that, those will get forwarded. And then tracking, that's to keep track of link clicks and the BetterLinks analytics. So wildcards, you can put an asterisk after a folder name that you want to redirect and redirect all of the links to the same place. Then there's an option to disable bot clicks, which I think probably just means they're not counted. And then there's a Gutenberg redirect, allow instant redirect. I think this is kind of slightly misnamed. I'll show you what it is, but basically what this does, let's take a look at it. So here's a page in Gutenberg, and note here that you have BetterLinks Instant Redirect. And so what that does is it allows you to create an outbound link on the fly from within the Gutenberg editor. Let's go back now to the settings. So that's what this Gutenberg redirect is. Then there's a pro feature to force HTTPS. I guess that's if you find some older links that had HTTP and you wanted to force them to SSL, then you could use this option for that purpose. Okay, then there's a Tools tab, and on this page you can export all your links and analytics, or just the links or just the analytics. And you can import from BetterLinks, like if you're sharing your links or moving your links from another site and you use BetterLinks on the other site, or you can migrate from Pretty Links or from the Simple 301 Redirects plugin. So there are not a lot of options for migration yet. And then role management and Google Analytics, those are pro features, and we'll look at those when we look at the pro version when we enable that. This screen is where you create new links and manage your links. Up here, in addition to switching to dark mode, there's the option to see your links as a list or to have a category view. And so you see what I've done is I created a couple of categories and added links to them. BetterLinks uses categories kind of like posts. If you don't give a category, it's going to use uncategorized. So you might as well at least create one category and use that as the default. Anyway, once you create a category though, then it's convenient that you can click on the plus sign in that panel and it'll create your new link will default to that category. That category will already be chosen. And a kind of cool thing about the category view is that you can drag and drop to move links to new categories. Here you can edit and delete your category. This tells you how many clicks and how many unique clicks. Here you can copy the link, you can add the link or delete the link. Okay, so now let's go into the screen to add a new link. And the title is something that is just used so you can tell what your link is. Description here is an optional field. You could even just use this for a note if you wanted to. Then you see this is my default, but you can override it if you wanted to change the redirect type. Then target URL, this is where you want the link to go to when someone clicks the button, the final destination. So I'll type in the URL for Bloxy theme. And you notice that when I typed in Bloxy theme, see how it's automatically filling in the parameter here. So that's a convenience. And for a reason that I'll explain later, I like to add a little preface to the link there, to the outbound link. There's a place here where you can copy it if you need to. But one cool feature, and it's available in the free version, most of it, is there's a UTM builder. And you see the difference between the free and the pro is that you can enter some settings and save them as a template to give you a faster start so you don't have to type everything again if your UTM parameters are similar, like you're using the same campaign or something like that. That's kind of cool. This will automatically then add these UTM parameters to your outbound links. And then there's a social share feature here, which we'll look at when we look at Pro. Then you can choose your category, and there's the option to enter a tag. So you see I've entered a tag called favorite, and I'll assign it to this. Now on the right side, these are those defaults that we selected in settings, but you can override them for the individual link if you want. All of these have a little tooltip help. Advanced and redirects, these are pro features, so we'll come back and look at these in a couple minutes here. All right, but after you've got your information entered, you click publish, and here's your link. I wanted to show you in the list view, there's a couple of nice things. You can search by title, you can search by category, you can sort by clicks, or by the most recent. And so those are some kind of nice features of the list view. With the list view, you could also, if you found, like, for example, you don't want this sample page, you could go over here to delete it, but if you were going to delete several of them, you could check them and then do a bulk action that way. So you can copy the link. It shows you the redirect type. It shows you kind of a quick little view of with the links of how many clicks they've had, the date when they were created, and you can visit the link if you want to test it out. You can edit it or delete it. So let's take a look at the analytics. I've just been doing this for one day, so I don't have a chart here, but there are the links that have been recorded so far in my testing. And you can search, like if you want to look and see how a particular one has done. These were some different testing I did. So you can set a date range here also. That's a look at what we have with the free version. Let's go and activate the pro version and take a look at those features. Okay, so if we go to the settings area again, this was a pro only feature. It's now unlocked. So if you want to use that. And then this tab, role management, is available for use now. And this would be useful if you have multiple content creators on your site and you want to control who can view or create or edit links. So Google Analytics is another pro feature, and this is where you would enter your tracking ID. Then if we look at the link creation area, let's edit this one. Remember, in the UTM builder, the template feature was disabled for the free version, and now you can fill in the values and save them as a template. So see, I created a template earlier. Okay, so that's how that works. And now this is unlocked also. It's a social share builder, another pro feature. And what this does is it allows you to build a share for a social network. It has support for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, email, Reddit, and Pinterest. By default, it puts in here your target URL. So you want to think about what link you're going to share, because you might not want to share the target URL. You may want to share a different redirect URL or something like that. When you click one of these, then you get some options to enter some values. So, like if I say Bloxy just got some new features, and I put my hashtag in there, Bloxy. I think for the first one it adds the hash, just like, share via WebTNG and related. So when you click generate URL, it generates this code here. So let's save this, and then you have to save, update here, do a save. Okay, now let's copy that link. Let's go to a page and add it. Kind of trying to show you how you might use this. I think you could just go to Twitter and paste that in. I created a share on Twitter button, and I'm just going to put that link in there. Okay, now I'm going to update this. Let's go view the page. Okay, and click on it. We're going to go to Twitter. If you're not already logged in, you're going to be prompted to log in. And it fills this in for you. Now, if we go back, let's go and look at some of these other features. I'm just going to put this back to the regular Bloxy target that I want. Okay, so we looked at these. Here are some other pro features. There's this advanced tab, and this is kind of cool. This is one of my favorite features of the pro version. You can give it a status of active, expired, or draft. And if you click this expire option, you get a place where you can set a date and time for when it's going to expire. And you can add a redirect URL for after it expires. And this is, I think, really cool. There have been many times where maybe there's been a product launch or a special event or a sale, and I want to share the link to that to go directly to that page. But after it's over, I want to go just to the regular site. The sale or event page after the event, it's meaningless. So when you do this, then you can add in a redirect URL, a different option. So this is one of my favorite pro features. Then dynamic redirects is another pro feature. This is pretty powerful option. You actually click here to go in and enable it and go to the dialog where you create your dynamic redirects. So there are several types. There's rotation, there's geography, device, and time. Let's come back to rotation. Let's look at geography. Okay, you can set countries. So, you can say people from the UK go to one link, people from the US go to a different link. There's device, so you can set the device size, the operating system, type of browser, and give them different links based on that. Or a date time option where you can say the month of June, you want it to go to one URL, and for July through December, you want it to go to a different URL. So those are the geography, device, and time options. To go back and look at the rotation options, you have the option for weighted. Rotation is you can have more than one target URL, and you can give them a percentage of, like half the time you want it to go here and half the time you want it to go to a different page. That's what weighted is. There's also random, where instead of doing it by percent, it'll just randomly go to one or the other. Then there's the option for split testing. And the way this works is you have a final page where you want to go. Let's say you want to go to the add to cart page is your destination. And then you have a high-level link, which is your link that you're sharing outside of this dialog. This is your link that you're sharing outside of this dialog, right? And your shortened URL. And then you want 50% of the time it's going to go to landing page 1. The other 50% of the time it's going to go to landing page 2. Both of these, you put in your goal for the sake of the statistics. And it will keep track of how many times someone goes from landing page 1 to the destination, to your goal, or from landing page 2. So that then you could see in the stats page which of your target URLs did better in the A/B testing. So that's that feature that some people might want to take advantage of. That is the tour of the Pro version. Okay, so we've done the walkthrough. I think you have a pretty good idea of the features and the user interface. Now for some discussion and conclusions. As I mentioned, there are a number of advantages to using a link manager plugin. The BetterLinks free version covers all the basics. You can manage outbound links from a central location. You can shorten links to make them easier to share. You can set default link attributes that will be added to outbound links automatically. You have stats to track link clicks. And if you're doing affiliate marketing, then you can use the shortened links so that your affiliate IDs aren't indexed by search engines. For simple link management, many people will be able to get by with the free version. I did notice a few things to keep in mind when considering BetterLinks. There's an option to add tags, but I didn't see how they could be used. Maybe that's a feature that they're planning to add. I tried creating a shortened link that was the same as a page on the site, that had the same permalink, sample-page, for instance. And there was no check to prevent a duplicate from being created, and that would be an issue if you accidentally did that. The social share builder looked very interesting, but it could be a little confusing, and I think it would be helpful to have some more detailed documentation. It would be good if there were more migration options for people switching from other plugins. And finally, this is kind of a personal thing, but I like that there's a lifetime option, and I see that the packages currently have a good discount, but the non-discounted prices seemed a bit high to me. So those were the things to keep in mind. As I mentioned in the introduction, I'm looking to move from the old Simple URLs plugin. And a nice thing about BetterLinks is that many of the additional features beyond the basics, I gained the type of things I would likely use. In the free version, I liked how simple it was to use link categories. The UTM builder could be useful for people who want to track links in Google Analytics, and the documentation was pretty extensive. In terms of pro features, the role management feature would be good for sites where there are multiple content creators, and I was really happy to see the advanced expire redirect option. More than once I've shared a limited time deal only to find much later that Google had indexed it and people were still visiting it after it was expired. Having the ability to redirect the visitor to a current page on expiration is really nice. The dynamic redirect options are an advanced feature that provide conditional link options and A/B testing. Advanced users will appreciate having those. All in all, I'm happy with the functionality that BetterLinks, free and pro, provide, and it'll be a good upgrade for people like me who are moving from a simpler option. So that's my walkthrough and review of BetterLinks. There's a text version of the video available on the WebTNG website, along with other walkthroughs, reviews, and resources. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching.